Many of your listeners will have seen Shadowlands, which is about the second half of C.S. Lewis's life and his marriage to Joy. This is about the first half of Lewis's life, beginning in his early childhood and his experience of Joy, and climaxing when Lewis chose to give a series of broadcast talks over the BBC during the dark days of World War II. And those broadcast talks that he gave over the radio eventually were collected and published as Mere Christianity. This movie takes place in 1941, 1942. So The Hobbit's been published, but it's long before Chronicles of Narnia, 10 years before Chronicles of Narnia or Lord of the Rings came out. So this film shows us the seed of that as we're going along. And what we've tried to do in it is that as we're going through the main story, we're also seeing through CGI and other things the rich imagination of Lewis and Tolkien that is going to end up resulting in Narnia and Lord of the Rings. And one of the ways that we've tried to make this accessible, and it's true to Lewis, is to show how Lewis brought together not only faith and reason, but he brought together reason and imagination. And it's wonderful that in this film we can show how for Lewis those things were inseparable. His growing faith went along with his growing imagination, and of course, finds its real climax in the character of Aslan and the Chronicles of Narnia.
There is a profound relationship between C.S. Lewis and j.r.r. Tolkien. These two guys created billion-dollar film franchises. If they're around here, they'd probably laugh in a way at how huge their writings have become. But there is this great moment between them where they actually looked at each other and said, we're tired of the literature that's out there. Maybe we should write the literature that we would like to read.
You had an opportunity to spend some time with Jack's stepson, Douglas Gresham.
And we went through every single line of the script. And the thing that was so wonderful about that experience is that Doug is an extremely intelligent man, very articulate, very opinionated. He would tell you that, he is. But at the same time, he's a very compassionate man. He wanted us to get things right. In other words, we wanted Jack to actually sound like Jack. And of all people on the globe right now, Doug would be the guy that knows that and lives with him.
What would you say are, if you could narrow down to 2 or 3 books by Jack himself that have meant the most to you?
It's very difficult because people usually will split it out, In the children's series, it would be The Horseman's Boy, and in the fantasy series, in the space trilogy, it would be Out of the Silent Planet. I think his best book is Till We Have Faces. And the reason I say that is because I can't even explain or articulate why I make that statement. It's that the book is so huge. If they step outside the theater or their house and go buy or rent Shadowlands, or they buy a book about C.S. Lewis, I'll be very happy. For me, my goal is an introduction with great entertainment value, but an introduction so people can go, you know what, I need to check this guy out. And if we can do that, we'll be very pleased.
Any final words of wisdom or information that you would like to share?
Well, again, I think I would just go back to, for those fans out there, and I have found this, especially in the Chronicle, most people have read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Well, read the rest of them. They're pretty good. Horseman's Boy is my favorite, easily. So I would say this. We're going to make a great film about C.S. Lewis, but the books are already out there. So I would recommend people that are, interested in C.S.